Hello, my gorgeous makeup loving friends. How's it going? Welcome back. It's another week, and we have quite a few new makeup releases to talk about. As always, I have my gorgeous friend Tia here with me, showing me up, which, standard. But you know the general drill, lads. There would be no episode if you guys didn't tag me and things. So I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who tagged me. I so appreciate it. And your names are displayed now. But we do have a lot to talk about, so let's get into it. And arguably, we're starting off pretty darn strong. This is Cosmic Brushes, and this is their Gothic palette, which is available now. Fun fact, I told Tia that if I was late for this, we could have technically filmed earlier. I was like, no. I will be straight onto Cosmic Brush's website using your link, buying the palette, which I obviously...
Which fair.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Like you just need it. Like I use it today. Let me...
Ugh. Beautiful.
It was Teresa's idea to add the dots, which I think look pretty good. So...
Sometimes I'm
like, I hate this look. Not that I hate the palette, but I was like, I hate the look, and I didn't have much time. So I was just rushing. But I actually do like it now, and I did take pictures too, so yeah, I will be posting it.
The palette, I mean, incredible. I love that it has that mix of like warm purples and then more cool toned purples.
Yeah, you can kind of see that there's more like a warmer side here and then like a cooler side here. I used like 6 of the shades. I used the warmer ones, which is a shocker for me.
Yeah.
Because I usually would go for the like more like cooler ones. But oh my god, these multi-chromes, me and Teresa were talking about this, aren't like, it's so hard to show on camera because my light.
Yeah, oh, you can see it there. Yeah, the shift to gold and green. Oh, beautiful.
This is really pretty. And I actually, just for fun, because I have the Denisomyrix palette, one of them, the Lightworks one, and I just compared 2 shades. I was showing it to Teresa from the Secret Winter palette and then one of the Nessa's ones. And Cosmic Brushes actually looked better.
Oh, 100%.
And at that price, we were like, we need a full multi-chrome palette.
Like, legit, Cosmic Brushes made Danessa's one look like shit.
Yeah.
And that's hard to...
Danessa's not shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, holy, what is she doing? How is she doing this with the resources that she has and then selling it for the price that she does? I don't understand.
I know that this is a smaller one that she's done before, and it's £22, so it is more expensive, but you do get 2 like duo/multi-chrome. I'm not quite sure. They're not maybe multi-chrome, maybe 1 multi-chrome and 1 duochrome, or maybe 2 duochrome. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But like these 2 special shades, and all of the shimmers are really nice. So I do get the cost being higher, and also like the cost of living and everything going up, and it's still not expensive in my opinion.
And I mean, we've always said it that indie brands are generally way more expensive anyways, just because they can't resource things in the same way as bigger brands, so their costs tend to be much higher. But despite that, Cosmic Brushes has managed to keep the cost really, really low. Like, let's be real, £22 for that, like...
And for that quality of shadows. Like, obviously, £22 can be expensive for anything if it's shit.
Yeah.
But this isn't.
Yeah.
Like, the pigment is there. Like, the swatches that they shared, I love that they're done like light, medium, and deep skin tones. And on the deep skin tones, you can really see those like special shades that are so pretty.
It's just a stunning palette, and the fact that it's £12, but you've managed to get like quite a variety in there of purples.
Like, you could do quite a bit with it. Like, I'm like, first I was like, a smaller palette, because we know I'm a small palette hater and lover sometimes, but usually
it never makes sense with what it is that you love and hate.
No, it doesn't. It's just all over the place. It depends on my mood, and it depends on a lot of things.
Has she
But
been
I
fed
feel like
recently?
yeah. But I feel like with this, you can do so many like purple. Obviously, they're all gonna be like purpley toned
Yeah.
because it's a purple palette. But if you love purples, I feel like this is the perfect like mini palette for yourself if you use them a lot. Even if you don't use them a lot and you like this color story, like those colors, I would definitely pick this up. And if it's out of stock, which I believe it might be out of stock while
Probably.
you guys are watching this, but just remember this is just a portion of the stock that she had. She had like I don't know how much, but she has limited stock at the moment. But I think next month she's gonna release the other palette that she's come out with, which is hiding somewhere in here. I wish I could show you, but I can't. But when she launches that, I think she's gonna restock this also at the same time.
And doesn't that work out then brilliantly for those who may not have picked it up this
Yeah,
time around? They can get the two pallets, so like they'll save on shipping. You lucky gooses or geese,
yeah.
rather. I ended up grabbing it this time around, which I was so glad about, and I picked up some brushes as well because I had some really nice little kind of blendy brushes that looked really nice
Oh,
and
you get
precise.
the like the lavender set,
Yes,
this one.
yes.
These are so nice. I have couple. This is not all of them, but I have maybe some of them are dirty. But these are so nice, and for these are like these mimic like natural hair brushes, but being synthetic.
Yeah,
So I really enjoy mine, and they're really like nice for kind of deep set, not deep set eyes. I mean hooded eyes
yeah,
like ours,
yeah.
like small spaces. So you're gonna love those.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. And I mean, I'm not even salty about the fact that like she'll be re-releasing this with a new palette in like a month or whatever. Because I'm like, oh, I'll just get the new palette and some more brushes as well. Because
I
if I
think
like
it's
these brushes,
smart because there are people who don't want to wait.
yeah,
People are like, no, I don't want to wait for now. So I want to get it like right now. So
yeah,
you could get it right now if it's not. It probably could be out of stock soon, but you could get it now. And then if you don't, if you're like, oh, I want to save a bit, or maybe I want the two palettes, both of them at the same time, you can then do that.
yeah. Look, I think it's brilliant. The fact that she keeps the cost down, I don't know how she does it. Legitimately don't. The color story is genuinely beautiful, really,
Yeah.
really interesting. You have the right amount of light and the right amount of depth in there, which I mean, I'm always whinging about, but I think that's
She's
done.
really good. She's really good at like that, like having like that depth, but still having like those mid tones and light tones, and with shimmers and mattes. Like I feel like it's well balanced. It's not too shimmer heavy, not too matte heavy, and then you have all the tones you need. I don't feel like you need a companion palette with this if you don't
No.
want to. Obviously, you can always use multiple palettes, but with this, it's like a full color story that you can use on its own.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I think that's what's so like brilliant about it, that for that £22 you're getting a whole palette that you don't need to dip into anything else for. You've got your multi-chromes, you've got your mattes, you've got some shimmers. Amazing. Like,
And you can also use this as a face palette as I did. I used this one called Lace
yeah,
as my blush, and then Obscure, which is this like my favorite shade of the palette. It's like pink and blue and all sparkly, and like that's my highlighter today.
beautiful.
You guys know how I feel about. I love like you guys know I love like blue and like those kind of highlighters. So like I love Cosmic Brushes palette for that reason too, because they're like I can use them on my face and on my eyes. So if I'm traveling, it's kind of like nice to like you can cut down the amount of stuff you're like going to bring.
Yeah, like their palettes are really, really great for multi-use because I've done that as well, where I've used like some of the shades as blushes and as highlighters, etc. Like they're just good. Like there's nothing else to really say about it. Like the price
Yeah.
great, the quality great. I mean, I'm a little bit anxious for her in the sense that it's like been hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. I can only
Yeah,
imagine for her, psychologically, it's like, you go from strength to strength to strength. It must be for her
pressure must
every,
be on.
yeah, the pressure of like every launch kind of going, is this going to be as good as the last one, or am I going to get
Yeah.
critiqued about X, Y, Z? Fair play to her.
Yeah,
Though,
we're gonna get critique, but I feel like Cosmic Versus has done such a good job. Like, I feel like when they launched Serenity?
yeah,
Serenity? Why does it sound so weird?
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So when they launched that palette, it was like after that they really like hit the people's like eye.
yeah,
Like people were like, oh, what's this? Because that palette honestly was the best palette of was it last year?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It
Like in my
was.
opinion.
Like, definitely, it was in my top 5 at the very least. I thought it was fantastic. And I'll be honest, I think this is heading into top 5 as well, just in terms of the affordability, the quality, and the color story. It's
Yeah,
really cohesive.
definitely.
Like, I've nothing negative to say about it other than it's not in my hands right now. And that's
Yeah.
upsetting.
That is a big negative though.
That's a very big negative. How dare they? But oh my goodness, when it was put to you guys, this was pretty big. 76% loved it, and 7% were on a no or a low buy. That's huge. And then, oh man, like this one, it's such a letdown. This is Sigma, and they have a collaboration with Beauty and the Beast. The Disney movie, and they have a whole chunk of things. There's a face palette for $39. There's a little mini eyeshadow palette for $32. There's a brush set that includes like a bag for $89. Then there's a mini lip set for $29, and then there's a larger eyeshadow for $53.10. And it is absolutely just so boring. So boring.
This is horrible. How is this like the face palette? How is that different from the other one that they did?
I mean,
Was it
that is the question.
wonder?
You're not wrong. Like, it does feel very like
The
copy.
brushes even can't remember the brushes. No, I remember that I like the brushes from the Alice in Wonderland collection, but the brushes are nice.
Yeah.
Will I buy those? No, because I do not need them. But why is there 2 eye palettes? Why is happening?
Because they
Why do
couldn't
we
fit.
need 2 of the boring ones?
Because they couldn't fit all of the boringness into one palette. They had to
But
put it across two.
they definitely have those same shades in both palettes.
I know they're duping themselves.
A bit.
It's so I can't even fathom it. And here's the thing, right? I went onto Sigma's own website, and it seems that this was sort of like a leak because it was put onto like Exo Cosmetics or something, and it was on JC Penney's for a while, and then it went, and it's not on Sigma's own website. So I don't know what's going on. The whole thing is very, very strange. I mean, they're taking stuff from a fucking animated film. When it's animated, there's color. Why didn't they have like a light blue of Belle's dress? When she's wandering through the town. Why didn't they have like a sparkly yellow or something in there? Some sort of a multi-shifting shade to like symbolize Beast's transformation. Why isn't there like a shimmery shade in there for like the petals falling off of the rose? There's so many things that they could have done, and then they did this. Right, if this came out from Essence or Catrice, I'd be like, yeah, fair enough, this looks like Essence Catrice. The only good thing I can say about this is the packaging looks cute, and that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty cute. I just feel like, I don't know, the small palette looks very cheap.
Yep.
It's just, and it's like a neutral palette with a pop of blue. Revolutionary, never been done before stuff. We're shocked here.
Do you know what it feels like? It feels like I'm looking at a palette that is incredibly dated. Like, if you said that this palette has been around since like 2016, I'd be like, yeah, it looks like that sort of a color story.
Yeah.
Like, oh, neutral and a pop of blue. Oh, how different. It's so disappointing because like I've heard such good things about Sigma's like eyeshadow formula, and that people are getting really excited about it. And I'm like, you had a really cool intellectual property. You could have done something genuinely interesting. they did like a nice Alice in Wonderland one, and then they've done this, and you're like, did you just fall asleep? Did you stop trying? Was it that the deadline was too soon and you just kind of copied someone else's homework and just flung it in, hoping that nobody would notice?
This just doesn't appeal to me one
No.
bit. I'm like, what am I gonna do with that? Am I gonna do a neutral look with pop of blue or pop of pink? Or like that's it basically.
Yeah.
They went very out of the box here. They tried their best.
But
Yeah.
do you know what gets me as well? Like when I'm looking at that larger palette, all of the tones are all along the same sort of dimension. There's very few like light and very deep shades. They're all very mid-tone.
Yeah. Darkest ones are the dark brown and the blue.
Yeah.
And then you have nothing to blend out the blue with.
No, well, you don't need to, Tia. Apparently, Sigma thinks that's totally unnecessary. No need to be blending.
To be blending this shade out.
I don't know. I think it's just so silly. It's so badly done. They had like a really great like IP, like even the face palette, again, like you said, it looks like something that we've seen already from them several times, and we've said it so many times, if you're doing a face palette, don't come out with just one. Like,
looks very pale.
It does.
It looks like ghost friend palette, like palette for me and Teresa and no one else.
Yeah, and I mean, people love Beauty and the Beast across many countries, so like why would you exclude a whole part of a potential audience / consumer base? Very strange to me. I'm not going to say it angers me, but I just think it's such a wasted opportunity. Just badly done in general.
It could have been such a good collection though.
And yet
they fucked it up.
They truly did, and it seems that you guys kind of shared the same sort of opinions. The face palette didn't do great. 19% of you loved it. 22% then said that you wanted to see different variations, you know, for lots of different skin tones, which I agree with. 10% loved the lip kits, which is fair. 10% then liked the mini palette, which again, fair. Then when it came to the larger palette, 13% loved it, and 32% said it's super boring, which I agree with. And the brush set did not do well. 7% loved it. In general, just a flop of a collection. Then we have Martine Cosmetics, who launched their Mayday collection, which is available right now on their site. I assume it will come to Beauty Bay sometime soon. You can get the full collection for €191.80, or you can buy each of the components itself. So the eyeshadow palette is €54.95. There's a highlighter palette for €39.95. There's the Eau de Bitch eyeliner, which is like a blue one, for €16.95. They have 3 different lip oils for €19.95 each, and then 3 different eyeliners, which are €14.95 each. What frustrates me quite a bit is that looking all over the website for this, I cannot get swatches of the eyeshadow palette, the highlighter, or the eyeliners. There's no swatches of them, and that is
I never have. I remember with them, we talked about this before. We've never seen swatches of their palette anywhere. Like, I've literally probably never seen anyone swatch this palette. The brand, any influencers, anything. I don't really hear about this brand at all.
Do you know what? I said this in a TikTok as well, or in one of my little shorts, and somebody did comment down below saying, actually, I've seen some like videos and they are not doing well, and there's apparently like some subreddits and stuff saying that they don't think the quality is great. So I don't know, that's just secondhand information that I'm getting, and I'm like, that really
kind of makes sense with not having swatches.
I mean, if you're charging that amount of money for an eyeshadow palette, €55, you're gonna want to have swatches. I mean, Jesus Christ, Cosmic Brushes, the teeny tiny little indie brand we just discussed, have a palette that is 40% of the cost of that, and they had swatches. So make it make sense. It's really weird. The shades itself, like, they're not bad. They're kind of interesting.
I don't understand it. Well, kinda with the like Mayday. I understand the red, but I don't understand the red. It doesn't go with the color story. Like, I don't understand, what am I supposed to do with the random red with blue? I don't even like red and blue together. Not that I like red that much anyways on me, but red and blue.
Yeah, I suppose unless you like, I don't know, had black all over the lid and then smoked out a bit of red to kind of have like a really vampy eye.
Yeah. The highlighter palette looks nice depending on what kind of formula is that. So I'm not too keen on like traditional highlighters anymore because you guys know I love my sparkles. So I like to use like highlighters that have a lot of sparkle or some sparkle. So I would like to see these swatch, but I'm out of luck. So for that reason, I wouldn't ever buy anything from
No,
them. Because
no,
I've never seen a single person ever talk about this brand. And I'm just like, are you actually even like, are people actually buying your stuff because you keep going out with collection and collection after collection? And I never see anyone talk about it. So I'm just like, where is this makeup going?
it's a conspiracy theory. It's like Finland, it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So
Martine Cosmetics, you don't exist.
you don't exist. The thing is, like, the ideas are not bad. Like, I quite like.
Yeah. Like, actually, this collection is one of their best collections that
Yeah,
I've seen because with a lot of their palettes, they've been kind of like mumbled color stories. I feel like this is quite cohesive and like nice. Like I could do nice looks with it, and we know I love blue, so I don't hate this. I have my like doubts on the brand. I don't.
yeah, I'm exactly the same. Like even with like the felt tip liner, it's weird to me that they don't have actual swatches of that on. Like they have a
Yeah,
picture of it on the eye, but I'm like, that doesn't look like that's a felt tip liner.
yeah,
Like I'm super confused about the way that's being marketed. The lip oils, I mean, lads, you know my feelings on lip oils. I couldn't give a shit. I don't find them interesting. I don't care. I cannot wait until we get to the point of no longer being into lip oils.
yeah.
I don't like them. Fucking give me a liquid lip, give me a bullet lipstick, give me anything. Just don't give me a lip oil is all I ask. Then those eyeliners are potentially interesting. Like I like that bright blue, but I don't know what it swatches like, and that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Is there anyone here watching that has ever even tried anything from this brand, and what do you think? Because
Didn't Amy get something from Martine Cosmetics?
I can't remember.
I'm fairly certain she did. Amy, if you're watching, could you actually? I'll probably message you after this. Could you tell me what you think of Martine Cosmetics? I want to know because
Is
it's
it just the knockoff Jeffree Star? We saw what Jeffree did kind of brand, or is it like an actual brand that has good stuff?
it's so
Not that
funny.
it couldn't be in an actual brand with having like a inspired by Jeffree Star's aesthetic. It
It,
obviously good, but I'm just like saying it's just a bit like, are we riding the Jeffree Star horse here, or are we an actual brand who's trying to do something?
yeah.
Am I being a bit mean?
Do you know what? You're just being fabulously sassy. I think it's just like you have your makeup on that it's given like bad bitch energy. I think you're
Yeah.
just like, I'm reading you to filth and I'm kind of here for it. You're right though, like the brand does give like major Jeffree Star vibes. Like if you took this palette, showed it to me and said, this is Jeffree's reimagined Blue Blood, I'd say, yeah, okay. Because
Yeah,
it looks like it.
me too. Yeah, I
It
would be
does.
like, yeah,
But even the
it
highlighter, even the
yeah,
highlighter palette has the same sort of vibe that he has with his
like the
existing highlighter palette.
sugar something,
Oh
I
yeah,
think.
what was it, Sugar Ache or Sugar Tooth or I don't
Well,
know.
something like that, but the highlighter palette looks very Jeffree Star-esque.
Yeah, 100%. A lot of this does. I think the bits where it starts to deviate are like the lip oils and the eyeliners and stuff, but the
Yeah,
rest, very Jefferson Starship. Yeah, personally, I'm not going to be getting anything from Martine Cosmetics because I just, on principle, do not buy things that don't have swatches because it straight away gives me a bit of an ick. And I'd maybe buy it if it was like a fifth of the price. I'd be like, fuck it, I'll try it. But like, not at that price. I'm weird, but I'm not
no.
that weird. Yeah. not for me. And it seems when I put it to you guys, 26% of you loved the palette. 30% said that you need to see swatches. Seriously, Martine, get on it. 30% liked that particular blue eyeliner. 12% loved the highlighter, but 24% again said that they needed to see swatches. The lip oils kind of did relatively okay, somewhere between 23 and 26% love it. And then those eyeliners again got about 11% love it, while 27% said that you needed to see swatches. And here's the thing, like, we are halfway through October at this point, and I don't know about you, but I find it really strange that we're still seeing Halloween releases coming, because I'm like, it's kind of a bit late for it now.
Yeah, kinda a bit like it's a Halloween release that probably is not gonna get in time for you for Halloween, so
Definitely.
you could use it for Halloween.
Yeah, and yet Clionadh Cosmetics have this. Now, what I will say is it's not necessarily like new products, because what they've essentially done is they have two multi-chrome palette bundles. One is the Trick or Treat, which is retailing, sit down lads, for €120, 36 cents. Ooh, that's pricey.
Alright.
Yeah, and then the other one is the Extraterrestrial Halloween multi-chrome bundle for €113.28. Now, the thing is, these are existing shades, so if you've gotten any of their stained glass collection in the past, you probably already have it. Like, I'm fairly certain I have a couple of those shades already. And don't get me wrong, they are beautiful, beautiful shadows, but that, phew, it is expensive. I think the only thing that doesn't make me kind of want to cry and die a little bit inside are the All Hallows Eve mini nail lacquer set, which is
Yeah.
€23. Like, that's a decent price. However, because of consumer laws, etc., and I guess because of the ingredients that's in it, these aren't sold to Europe, so you can only get these if you're in Canada and the US. So I'm like, the one thing that I would be potentially interested in, I can't get. Not that I would get it anyway, because, taxes, customs, duty, shipping, way too expensive. I think this is their attempt to maybe get people into the brand that hadn't gotten into the brand already. Maybe
Yeah.
they had some excess stained glass eyeshadows.
I just kinda feel like this is not even a new product, so there's probably not even delays. Well, how should I know? But I'm just assuming if these are existing shades, why couldn't you launch this sooner so people could actually have time to order it and receive it for Halloween? It feels a bit. I'm I'm really sorry to say this, Clionadh, but it feels a bit a cash grabby to me. I just don't know. Like, I feel like Halloween. Well, it kind of makes sense though because it is a Canadian and like US brand. Like Halloween is so big there, so obviously it's very commercialized,
Yeah,
and people will use that to their advantage.
which I find very funny, because Halloween is an Irish holiday. It started in Ireland. It's our thing. And
Yeah.
as soon as it went over to the States, they were like, oh, make it really commercialized. And we're
See
all
hookers.
like, what happened? What is this? What is going on? It's very. I mean, I love that other people are really into it. I think that's great. You're appreciating our culture. It's cool. Yeah, these palettes, like, they look nice. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, oh,
They
they're
look nice.
trash. They do look lovely. And I will say, I have Clionadh shadows. I really enjoy them. However, they're at a point now that these were interesting 4 or 5 years ago when they came out, because there was nothing like that. We just talked about Cosmic Brushes and the fact that they had two multi-chromes in their eyeshadow palette for £22. And I'm like, why so expensive still? Like,
Yeah.
there's
How
lots
much
of brands.
that is for one shade then? Per shade, 9. How much is that?
I mean, it's working out for one of the palettes at a little bit less than €14 a pop, and then for the other one, it's a little bit less than €13 per shade.
What I want to know is that if I buy these all separately, will I pay the same amount or is there like a bundle discount?
I suspect there is a bundle discount, because I remember buying like some of their singles before and they were like €20 each. Yeah. Now they may have come down since, but like, I don't know. I just can't figure out who this is for. Because if you're a diehard Clionadh fan, you have these already.
Yeah.
And if you're being introduced to the brand, I don't know if this is necessarily the way to do it.
I don't know if I would like drop 100 plus euros on a brand that I haven't tried anything
Mm,
on.
Yeah. I mean,
you know?
at least they do have very good swatches. Like if you look at both of those palettes, the swatches are
Yeah.
they are beautiful. Like let's be real. But do you know what I will say? And it does kind of frustrate me when you go on and look at their website to look at the swatches. They're swatches from the stained glass collection overall. So some of the swatches that you're actually seeing even right now are not
Yeah,
necessarily
I'm so
of
confused with
yeah,
that.
some of the swatches aren't
Mhm.
necessarily from the palette itself. They're from some of the shades that are in the palette, but they haven't bothered to do specific photos of the exact 9 shades that are in each of these palettes. So they've just kind of taken all of the pictures that they have for all of the stained glass pictures and just kind of shoved them all together onto that part of the website to kind of go, here you go, spot whatever shadows are there, go and do it yourself. Now, you probably could. You could look through each of them and kind of go, okay, that's the shade Ion, that's the shade Gargoyle, that's this one. Okay, so this is what this is going to look like. But I don't know about you, but I'm too lazy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not for me. I think the two palettes are beautiful, and if they again turned up, I'd be absolutely delighted.
Yeah.
Particularly the extraterrestrial one. I think that one is. I mean, you know me, it's very green leaning, so I
I
look at
kind
that.
of wish that they've done like palette, like they did with the what's it was like the fruit something.
Oh
What
yeah, the
was
dragon
it?
fruit.
Yeah, like I wish they would have done like a palette, like that kind of a palette. Maybe
Yeah,
add some nuts in there, like just to see something new. I feel like they've used this multi-chrome, duochrome, shifty shadow thing to death now, and I kind of want to see something new from them because the brand isn't interesting to me anymore.
yeah, I agree.
It's like
But that's
same, 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 same.
and it's so funny that you say that
Mhm.
because I think that's why I'm looking at the nail polishes and actually going, oh, I like that because
Yeah,
that is different. That is different.
totally
I
funny.
haven't seen much of that, but it's a null and void because we can't get it. But they are nice shades. And I mean, for €23, that's not bad for 5 little
That's
mini
not
bunches.
bad. Yeah,
Like, I like that. I think that's super, super cute. But the rest of it, I don't get, lads. And I used to buy a lot from Clionadh, and I'll be honest, like I do like their stuff, but I think there's more competitively priced indie brands out there that have just as good a quality, and it's not for me. I think it was for me very early on in my makeup journey when I was that little bit more easily influenced. Um,
yeah.
and now, because like I remember Angelica Nickfist was just like, I love these, and I remember I got her like stained glass bundle, but I think I'm off that particular train now of like
Yeah.
just kind of running off with everything.
Also, I would say I don't really reach for my single eyeshadows that much. It's just a thing for me. So that is the one reason why I wouldn't probably buy a bundle of like single shadows because I always forget to use those.
Yeah.
Always.
More than fair. Yeah, it's not appealing to me. Now, I don't know what you guys think of it yet because I just put it to you guys. I'm very behind on posting stories, but I'll show you guys what you thought. Then the next thing that we have, I'm gonna have a smidgen of a rant. So bear with me, guys. This is Glamlite and it's their Friday the 13th collection, and I'm a little bit miffed because basically they just did their ghost face. It was 2 weeks ago that they launched it, and now what? 2 weeks later they have another thing that is launching. That's really annoying. And not only that, but after this, at the end of October, they'll have yet another one, which is the Nightmare on Elm Street. So that's 3 horror launches within a 5 to 6 week period. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, that's
Mhm.
excessive. They should have put it all out together if that's what they wanted to do, because there's a lot of people who are really into this sort of thing. They have the collectionist, completionist mindset, and they're kind of going, oh my
Mhm.
God, I've had 3 separate orders. I'm going to have to pay for shipping and duty on every single one of these. If I had known that this palette was coming out at this time, I wouldn't have bought this one. I'd have bought this one. Personally, I think this is not done well in
At least they should have shown all the collections at the same time.
yeah.
Then said this will be released then, this won't be released then, and this won't be released then. Then people could be like, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna want this one, or I'm just gonna want this one," or maybe do even like a bundle collection of all three together. Because, like Teresa said, there are a lot of people who wants to have them all. They're like collectors. They need
Yeah.
them all. So to be outside of US and having to buy the shipping and taxes pay the shipping and taxes like 3 times if you want them all is just beyond.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, they've said that they're doing the Nightmare on Elm Street, but we still don't know even what that looks like yet. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe by the time that you're watching this on a Saturday morning, because they've launched the damn Friday the 13th by the time you're watching, they may have started to drip feed the next one. This is heading, in my opinion, far too close towards fast beauty and fast makeup territory. And I do not
Mhm.
think that that is appropriate for
Also,
reasons.
like there's some crossover between the ghost face and this one.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you brought that up as well, because I found this picture, by the way, on Reddit, where they took the picture of the ghost face and they took a picture of the Chucky palette, and they kind of put them together so that you can actually see there is a little bit of, a crossover here, even when you're looking at the
Yeah.
swatches.
I'm not too mad of the Chucky palette being like similar, but that is the most different out of those three.
Oh,
But
100%.
I'm not too mad because that was released, was it last year or at least?
Yeah, yeah.
But that was released like way before. So I'm not too mad about that. It is kind of a bummer that they're doing these cool tone palettes that all look very samey to me. Like I was really like when I saw the Chucky palette, I was like, that's beautiful. When I saw the ghost face, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of pretty. Now I'm like, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of this game. And
Like,
also, like, even within the palette, like, look at those two reds.
100%. They're too close to each other.
Also, like, there's like two dark. Is that like a dark blue? Well, those are not too similar. I'll give them that. It's not too similar. But I would just like to see some variation, like, between these palettes because we do not need all these three.
Can I say as well, for this palette, very shimmer heavy.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of shimmers in it. A lot of shimmers in it. I think it's nice. It's grand. If the Ghost Face and the Chucky palette hadn't already existed, I'd probably be looking at this kind of, oh, that's kind of interesting. I don't care about this at all. I don't want it. And I think I am
Mhm.
just put off by the constant releases. I give out about Colourpop and all of these other ones for doing that.
Yeah.
Like indie brands.
Yeah.
I don't like when you do it either. Like, chill out. You could have spaced this out that little bit further. Or again, like you said, we're doing a whole massive Halloween collection and it's going to have all of these things in it. Here you go. I get that, it's rare that we'll actually have a legitimate Friday the 13th. They're seizing on the
Yeah.
opportunity of the fact that we have a Friday the
But then
13th.
they should have launched that one then, and then leave maybe the other ones. Or just maybe I wouldn't so mad if the collections looked a bit different, but
Yeah.
these look a bit too samey to me.
I agree. And then, I mean, if we look at the other bits, the highlighter is okay, but I don't think it's as interesting as, say, the ghost face one. I feel
No,
like there's
no.
so much more, like, how do I say it nicely, meh than what we've seen so far. I feel like I do not worry. Worry is like a very big word here, but it feels a little bit like they might have peaked. Remember how we had that with Melt a couple of years ago? And I'm wondering if Glamlite might have done this, that they've just done too
Mhm.
much too soon and we're now just getting fatigued. Maybe it's just me. Feel free to disagree. That's totally fine. I know that there are people who will absolutely love this, but I am unfortunately not one of them.
Yeah. Things I do love is
Mm,
I think the mirror is so
yeah,
cool. I think the brush set looks pretty nice. Also the lashes, those look
yeah,
pretty.
they're cool.
I like the red accent there. And the highlighter is nice, but it doesn't look as nice as Ghostface one, as Teresa said.
Yeah.
I don't really understand. Is that like a lip kit?
Yeah,
I don't really understand the choice of colors there. It's very weird, the lip liner and the lippy.
yeah, it looks very corpse-like.
Why don't we have like, oh, we had like a red lippy on the other
Yeah,
brush. I was
yeah,
gonna say, why don't we have like a red lippy here?
but that's the thing. They've kind of done it already with the one that just went.
Yeah.
So you don't need to have all of the. Can I say? I mean, yeah, the brushes are really cute. Like they're not bad, and like I don't think they're badly priced either. Like $18 is not awful. The mirror is $24. There's a candle. They've literally never done a candle before. Why are they doing a candle? What is going
Oh
on?
no.
I
I hope it
genuinely, this
smells like
whole thing
full body.
confuses me.
I
I
hope it smells like blood. totally on theme. Get this nice bloody scent into your house by burning this candle.
Oh, do you want your home to smell like a bloodbath?
Yeah.
Introducing Glamlite's new candle. I mean, it's $12, which, yeah, okay, fair enough. Weird though. Like, what are they going to start doing candles now? That feels. Do you know what this reminds me of? Remember when Revolution started doing 5 million different things, and that also included
Yeah.
candles at one point? It's giving me that same energy.
Yeah, it is.
Chill out. You don't need to have all of this. What they could have done, and hear me out here, is they could have just done lashes, the mirror, the brush set, and maybe the highlighter, and just been done with that.
I feel like if they would have like done 3 collections, but done different products in every collection. So one collection would have like a palette and maybe some lippies, and then the other collection would have like a mirror, brushes, like you said, and highlighter, and then like kind of like differentiate just kind of like change the products up so it's not like, oh, we have a palette, we have a highlighter, we have a lippy, we have a mirror, we have this all in all of the collections and they all look the same and you won't know the difference.
But that's the thing, they've just done way too much. And I mean, we know because we talked about this, what was it, 2 weeks ago or something, when they said that they were doing this? The Nightmare on Elm Street will have 8 products. So
Yeah.
it's too much. It is just too much. Like, and I say this as somebody who enjoys Glamlite's formula. I do think they're genuinely very, very good, and I think they're good value for money. However, I just don't like this pumping out of products. I don't like that this just feels very like we've had a lot of releases from them this year alone.
Yeah, it just feels kind of like they were like, okay, we're doing Halloween. Anyone got ideas on what we're gonna do? And then they start shooting. We did this, I did this, and did this. And
And
then
they
they're like,
yes,
oh, we're gonna choose. Let's do. Oh,
sometimes choosing is very important.
yeah. It's just too much. And
Yeah.
I feel like that is kind of putting off.
It's putting me off.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I bought the Ghost Face palette, the highlighter, and the lip kits. That's what I was interested in because I'm learning to not buy everything. But can I just say, lads, and look me in the eyes, right? I don't want any of this.
Yeah.
Not a single thing.
No. I feel like the Ghost Face collection was so much better.
Yeah, this feels like a real letdown from what was a very strong collection. And I wonder how people who are fans of Friday the 13th are going to feel about this.
I'm just not vibing with this one either. Like I feel like Glamlite does this all the time. Like why does the swatches look like you have no differentiation between like light, dark, medium shades? Like they all look the same. And I'm just wondering how am I gonna able to deal with that. The Ghost Face one actually had some light shades in it.
Hmm. I do
But
feel like whatever way they swatch very heavy handed, like they're digging into a pan and picking up all of the pigment. And I'm like, but that's not how it's actually going to look on the eye. It's not going to
yeah.
look that way. It's not, unless you're like there for years, like carving it out or whatever. But like I've been looking at this for a while and just kind of going, what is happening? It does feel, it's reminding me of when Melt hit the peak and then kind of went down again. Makeup cycles all the time, and I feel that Glamlite may have cycled out. I don't know. Feel free to disagree with me, but we're going to be nice about it because we're nice people. But I don't know what you guys think yet because I haven't put it to you guys yet because I'm very behind with things. But I'll be super, super interested in your opinions and I will show them here. Then the next one. This is quite interesting because from what I understand, and I couldn't get a lot of information on this, this is the brand Dieverune Cosmetics, which is new. And I believe, and I could be completely wrong, so feel free to disagree with me, but I know that Danny messaged me and said that it's a brand by M Jones 5018 or 5018, who's over on Instagram. And if you have seen any sort of swatches ever of any palette, it's probably from them. They're a very popular content creator. And it seems, from what I understand, that this is their new brand. So they have the Moth and the Moon palette, which is available now for $68. Now, I was watching the gorgeous, beautiful Brittany Huffman just the other night. She had it on, I think it was an Instagram live, and it looked beautiful on her. And I know she has a code as well for like some money off. It's very pretty. I think the swatches are quite interesting, but they're also coming out with these sort of like flaky, glittery things, which, can I be honest, that's the thing that I'm looking at the most. Palette is nice, but it's a flaky,
Stunning.
like, oh.
Those look very pretty.
Yeah.
Very, very pretty. The only thing is that I cannot get away with these flaky things anymore that much
Yeah.
with my eyes, because my eyes are so hooded that it's just they just rub off.
Yeah.
Even if I use glitter glue, even sometimes I can get away if I use a tiny bit and really like just tap it on like very lightly. I can get away with this. So I love those, but they're not the best on very hooded eyes.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who have hooded eyes can agree with this, that they are a bit tricky to use.
Yeah, like I love these, but these products do not love me back. Like I think these are really, really cute, and I've followed M Jones for a while over on Instagram. Like I see their swatches all the time.
Yeah.
And this
Actually, I just saw her swatches on Cosmic Brush's Instagram of the Gothic palette, and they looked amazing. She is really good with like photographing.
Yeah, she is. And like she's somebody who is really into like colors and colorful combinations, etc. So I think this is reflected very well in this. Again, from what I understand, this is her brand. That's what I've been told. I could be completely wrong. I'm just going on the information that I have, because when I did go over to their Instagram, there wasn't really a lot of information on them. It just kind of said, oh, swatches coming soon, it's happening. And these were all just kind of bits that I got from other people. So bear with me, guys. But I think it's nice. And I like seeing people kind of go from being a content creator to making their own brand. I think that's like quite a big step to make. So like fair play.
Yeah, the palette to me isn't like a standalone palette, but like I get that she has like a shimmer shade and a matte shade that match kind of.
Yeah, there's some interesting shift in there. Like,
I love the packaging. Like, how pretty is that? And I don't actually hate it. I feel like I would like to see some looks with it, like people do some looks with it.
Which
So
I
I like really.
Brittany did it. So have a look. She was using the palette. I like they're unusual color combinations.
Yeah, it's like quite different. Quite different for this time of the year, like that, like this kind of a color story. For me, this is more like summer palette.
Yeah,
but I don't hate it. I do not hate it.
Yeah, I think it's
And
really.
you know what? We can all just F off with that. Like, oh, you can use this palette on summer. Oh, you can use this palette on Halloween. Oh, this is a Christmas palette. Fuck off. Just use them wherever you want.
Yeah. Don't confine us to seasons. I think it's really cute. And I feel like it's one of those ones I probably wouldn't be able to get a full look out of without dipping into something else. And I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I like the balance of the mattes to the shimmers. I think that's done well. I think even just the shimmers alone, based upon those swatches, kind of have me going, excuse me, what are you? You're quite pretty. Yeah, it's done well. I'm excited for her. And like, this probably isn't the one for me, and that's okay. Because I am trying to be better on that, but I will definitely be keeping an eye out for this brand and seeing what they're doing in the future, because it does look like the aesthetic is my kind of jam. Anyways, that's all I have to say about it. I think it's interesting. If I found out that somebody else actually owns it and I've gotten incorrect information, I will have clarified it here below. Good luck editing, Teresa. I really do make your life quite a toil. I don't know what you guys think yet, because I haven't put it to you guys. Then this is Adept Cosmetics, and yes, we did talk about this a while ago. This is the Rainbow Raider multi-use face palette, and it is limited edition, and basically it's like a multi-use palette. It's already available. I believe it's like $60 something, and they're kind of trying to emulate the white Ketracel palette in the sense that, it's one pan with several different colors in it, and they look beautiful when they're swatched. and I really like Adept. I've bought a lot of stuff from Adept. I really enjoy them. However, this is just a bit all over the place and I don't get it. I don't know how I'd use it. At least with the Ketracel White, the shades that we had there, you could see how they could mix, and there was a bit of a translucent base so that they weren't going onto the eye in a particular way, or they weren't going on face leaving a streak. But here there's a very, very deep, clear, opaque base here. So I'm like, it couldn't really be a face palette. It's gonna have to be like an eye palette, in which case I would struggle to use it with such skinny little pans like that. So
Yeah, to me, I feel exactly the same. I was like, how am I gonna use this when they're like if I want to use an individual shade on its own, it's just so tiny. Like the place is so like, how am I gonna get my brush in there? And even with like a face brush, if I use like for example, like this kind of a brush for
yeah,
highlighter, and I want to use just one shade, how am I gonna get that out of there?
you won't.
I'm just not gonna.
And the
Even
thing is,
with a finger, I feel like that's hard. That looks tinier than a finger with like one shade looks tinier
yeah,
than my finger. So
I think it's,
it's a no for me because it looks a bit hard to use. I
yeah,
love that they're like multi-use palette. I love a multi-use palette, like I talked earlier today. But I'm just like I want it to be easy to use
yes.
multi-use palette.
I agree. Like the idea behind this, I'm all here for. I like that they've given lots of color and interesting colors, you know, with interesting formulas for what is like not a huge price when you think about it, you know. But my problem is it's not usable. I wouldn't be able to put a finger or a brush into any of these things, and it's just going to just start to crumble, and you're just going to get loads of like strange shades out of it. The easy fix could have been just like literally put like a separator between each of those so that you
Yeah,
could separate them, or alternatively cut down on some of the shades, because there's a few shades that are
yeah,
kind of similar and you probably didn't need to have them. You could have cut it down to like say maybe 9 or even 8, and had something quite similar. You could have had a half pan, you know, in sort of a moment. I like the idea, and it is limited edition, so I think probably they're testing out a couple of things. I feel like
yeah.
this is more like an experimental shift for Adept than like a
Yeah,
permanent.
definitely, because it even says, like, keep your palette in a cool and dry place. Now, I instantly was like, how am I storing my Adept palette that I have? Like, do I need to put it in a separate place so
Take
it's
it
to
down to
that
the other
much?
one.
But it says like the shimmers on this palette are very shimmery, and if you use them on they will require a good primer to prevent fallout and creasing if you use it on your eyes. Please be aware of this before purchasing. I'm like that they said that, but like I'm kind of like it's not really an easy multi-use palette. Then if you need to
No,
like have a
a degree.
what's a good primer? Why can't you say what's a good primer then? Because there's so many primers on the market. What am I going to use? What's the one you recommend? And I don't like that like you have these things that now it says cool in a dry place, and I'm like I'm not storing my palettes in hot and like wet places anyways. But like it just makes me wonder, like why is it so hard to
Yeah,
you know
yeah, I agree. It just feels a bit all over the place, and I do enjoy the brand. I enjoy what I have from them, but I just feel like this is maybe a bit overly ambitious. And I love makeup. I love trying makeup. I love experimenting with makeup, but I don't want to feel like I have to go to a massive amount of effort to, you know, figure out what will work with what, or how I will get something to work for me.
what they should have done? Get rid of that those dark based
Mm,
ones altogether.
yeah,
And then you could have made room for all of the rest of the shades to
literally.
be used. Like you can actually use them and not to be worrying, oh, I'm gonna dip into the wrong shade, and then you have million different shades on your eyes, and I
Yeah,
just feel like it's quite a bit of that, like it's
yeah.
quite a bit like work for it to work on you.
Yeah, like I think they could have gotten rid of the two pans over on the left hand side and just kept the two pans on the right and split them up into like little individual pans themselves, and that would have been perfect. They'd have had a totally different response, I think. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
not for
They
me.
look very nice, very sparkly.
Yeah.
Like I will agree with that, but I'm just like a bit scared of it.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm quite intimidated by it. I don't know what you guys think of this palette yet, but I will put the stats up now. Then we have another kind of rather late Halloween release. This is from Pastel Roses, and this is their Spell and Potions eyeshadow palette. £32. This is apparently a pre-order, but they said that it'll come out within 5 to 10 days, which seems kind of vague. And then there's 8 mattes and 4 shimmers. Now, I like Pastel Roses. I like their quality, but I think it's like every time they seem to put a palette together, I kind of go, really? You put those colors together?
Like the first two rows, like the first like diagonal two rows, I'm
Yeah,
like, what the actual
yeah,
F is that?
yeah.
You switch the shade Coven and Witch together.
Oh, it would have been a
Like,
perfect little
so
seance.
that 6 pan palette.
Mwah.
Why didn't you release that? Why do we need a yellow and that ugly green? Like, I'm sorry, I love green, but that is just an ugly green.
Same. Even I don't like that green.
Yeah, so it is an ugly green then.
Yeah, I just don't get these colors together. I genuinely don't. Like you said,
No.
there's like a really interesting 6 pan in there. They could have done that. That would have been really, really nice. And
Okay.
it would have been a
So
good mix of mattes and shimmers.
yeah.
But
You could have even done an 8 pan palette if you take the shades Magic Shredded, Bewitch, and Mystery, like those four, like that one
mm,
quad core there away.
yeah,
Then even the reds would work with that palette. That would be really pretty. But just those 4 shades, if I cover those, I'm like, ooh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Then when I take my hand off of that, I'm like, oh.
It's so mismatched. It's so jumbled.
They do this all the time. Like I
Yeah.
feel like they've done this before.
Oh, they have. We've said this about them before.
Not this particular palette, but like the color stories just don't make sense to me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's literally, it's always been like there's a few shades that you're like, why did you put this in here? This doesn't really make sense. And the thing is, they're all good formulas, they're all good shades. Like, I don't think there's anything that's wrong with them. It's just the fact that they've been put together. And I'm like, oh no, we wouldn't seat these next to each other at the dinner party. Like, it just feels
Yeah.
very disjointed. Like, they've swatched really well, they look nice. And again, you can see portions that you're like, that should have been the palette. And then you see other bits that you're like, the fuck is this? I'm kind of frustrated for them. They do beautiful singles, and then every time they put together a palette, it just looks odd to me. I don't,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like there hasn't been one like an eyeshadow palette from them. I'll be like, oh, that's really pretty. I want it. And it's a shame because Pastel Rose is a really nice brand, and I have used their, like we were talking about the flakies. I have used a lot of their like flakies, and I love them when they worked on my eyes. I still have quite a bit of them. I can't get rid of them because they're so pretty.
we'll see. Yeah, fair.
But like, it's just a bit of shame that I feel like they just can't execute a cohesive color story.
Yeah, I agree. That's where I am with it too. There's so much potential in like the ability of the brand in terms of like their formulation, the sort of interesting textures that they come out with. But they're just failing at this hurdle, unfortunately. I really want them to do well, and I hope that this is something that they do kind of look at in the future, because I would love to get a palette from them at some point. I genuinely would, but this ain't the one for me. Now, I don't know what you guys think yet. I haven't put it to you guys. I'm assuming you're also going to be a bit confused with the colour story, but there you go. Then, I love that we've talked about Halloween, but now we have some holiday, like Christmas holiday stuff. And this time it's from Haus. So there's 2 limited edition iLibrary palettes. They're $49 each. There's the Super Neutrals Volume 1 and the Super Neutrals Volume 2. Then there's the Atomic Shake Lip Lacquer Duo, $39. And one of them is a brand new shade, the Burgundy Shine one. And then they have a mini hybrid lip oil trio for $29. And they're going to be out on October 20th. See, here's the thing, like, I look at the eyeshadow palettes and I kind of go, oh, okay, they're not really that interesting. And then the swatches and how they perform in the eye actually looks kind of cute. So I don't know what's happening. I'm not going to buy them. I don't think they're worth it now for me, but it's a marked improvement on, do you remember their original eyeshadow palettes? Do you remember how bad they were? It's better. And these are apparently talc free as well. So I know that's like a big thing for a lot of people. I think this is playing it extremely safe, like extremely safe.
Yeah.
Ugh.
There's nothing really interesting in this collection. Well, maybe that dark lippy.
Yeah, that's what's getting me as well. The Burgundy Shine. I think that looks genuinely fabulous. I'm not into the Sepia Shine. I think that's one they already have. But the Burgundy one is absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Really, really like the look of that. They also have...
like duo. Do you have to buy those together?
You do. They come together, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. So maybe if you have a friend who likes one shade and you like the other one, it could work out really well. Besties for life. But I think most of my friends would be the same as me and would be like Burgundy Shine, and they won't want the Sepia Shine at all. But here's one thing, right? Who is the customer that is buying Burgundy Shine and Sepia Shine? Who is wearing the two of them? Because I feel like they're not really the same customer. Maybe that's just me. One seems so much more conservative, and then the other one is like dominatrix.
Yeah.
It's very Jekyll and Hyde, which, you know, grand, fair enough. And then fucking lip oils. I don't care about lip oils. I really, really don't. Yeah, I get it. They're clean. I'd hope so. I don't want dirty lip oils. And they have all these claims of, you know, moisturizing, etc. There's plant squalene, prickly pear oil, all of these things. I'm sure that if you love lip oils, you'll love them. But I'll be honest, I don't see a massive difference across each of them. They only tint the lips slightly, and it's only like when I'm really looking for differences that I see differences across the lip oils. I just don't think they're worth it. Yeah, it's not for me. I think she could have come out with like some more highlighters or like some new cool blushes. It's kind of a little bit meh.
It's so boring. I'm getting tired. I'm like, oh, should I be not in bed?
Yeah, that's kind of what it's giving. And like the problem is, like, Haus Labs have been on such a good trajectory on their way back of like, oh my god, this foundation, oh my god, this concealer, la la la. Like all this stuff has been really good, and I just feel like this is kind of like a really?
It's just very mainstream, like very mainstream.
Yeah.
There's nothing special in this.
I agree. It's a bit of a letdown for me. I'm not into it. Like, even like the eyeshadow palettes, yeah, the shades themselves look okay, but honestly, this could come from like Clinique.
Yeah.
Fairly certain I've seen Clinique do these color stories. Oh, I'm very mean today. I know. Oh dear. And I love that they're saying like 6 clean, luxuriously smooth shape. Look, lads, you know how I feel about the fucking phrase clean beauty. I cannot.
It's not a thing. It's just not a thing.
No, here, let me spit on your eyeshadow. There. It's not clean anymore. I think it's so silly. Yeah, it's very strange, and it feels kind of like a shift from where she's been going with the brand in general. So it just ain't for me. Now, I don't know what you guys think yet, but I'll show you the stats now. This is available now as you're watching, but I've only been able to get one picture as we're actually recording this. This is Trixie Cosmetics, and it's their Horse Girl collection. And can I just say, the eyeshadow palette, when I saw this initially, I thought it was Anastasia Beverly Hills Cosmos palette. Because I
thought this was like Essence or Catrice.
I mean, yeah, but the color story from it, you know how there's that like bright blue and there's like some kind of neutrally tones in the ABH one, it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. There was something about it that I was like, oh, what's this about? Yeah, so that's $48. They also have their first ever single blush in Show Pony for $14. There's a Sunny Strawberry Red Pink shade Eden liquid lipstick for $16, and apparently you can get it all in a bundle. I don't get Trixie Cosmetics.
I just
really?
me neither. It just doesn't I love Trixie.
Yeah.
One of the drag queen makeup artists that I actually watch, not maybe necessarily for tips and tricks, but because he's actually really funny
Yeah.
and I enjoy watching his content. But with his makeup stuff, just like, what are you doing? Like horse, this is very hey, we're Claire's makeup brand. Look at this. It's very to me very childish, and it's not really I would buy this to my let's say a 13-year-old niece or
Yeah.
something as a Christmas gift.
Yeah. And that's fair,
But
but not for that price.
yeah, not for that price.
Yeah.
But for aesthetically wise, I'm just is this supposed to who's this marketed for then?
I think that's such a good question. Who are their demographic? And I don't hear much about Trixie Cosmetics. There's not many people that I follow that seem to be using them. I know.
One, I think it's Evelina Porcel. She's a Swedish YouTuber who actually really loves Trixie, eyeshadow palettes, and she has a lot of them. So watch a lot of her videos, and they look nice quality. I don't know, I haven't tried, but I'm just all the color stories are a bit meh.
Yeah, nothing has grabbed me. I want things to go really, really well for Trixie. I'm not sitting here being nah, F you. I think Trixie's cool, but I want that to be reflected in her makeup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's such a cool character. Why
yeah,
then that her stuff is just giving me 90s makeup that you got as part of a subscription to a magazine?
yeah.
It's just given me that. I think it's a bit of a pity, but it feels very, very cheap. It also reminds me a little bit of a child's drawing of when Jeffree Star went to his ranch. It's just a child's depiction of Jeffrey's journey. That's what it feels like to me. Maybe that's what they're trying to go for, but it's not for me. Now I don't know what you guys think, but I don't care. Then
I don't
I
care what you think.
I don't care. I don't care about the collection. I care about what you guys think. I care about your opinions, but I don't care about this collection, is what I'm trying to say. Jesus Christ, is everyone getting a collaboration with Nightmare Before Christmas? This is, I think, maybe the fourth or fifth one I've seen in the last month. This is Spectrum. They have a whole bundle where you can get the whole set for €160, which is worth 200, but they have lots of other different sets, including a 10-piece brush set for €86, a 4-piece brush set for 36. There's a makeup bag for €29. There's brush cleaning soap for €29, which I don't know what you think, fucking pricey. Then the thing that I do actually like is the sponge and puff trio for €22.
Oh my god, that is so cute. I
like that.
cannot.
I like that bit.
Me too.
The rest don't care about, but I like the spongy trio.
I've heard the Spectrum brushes are really good.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I'm not a big Halloween person. I haven't seen a lot of these movies.
Fair.
So I'm just I could get any other brush set much cheaper and be happy with it.
I like the Nightmare Before Christmas. I like Spectrum's brushes. I have a few of them. I don't have that many because they're pricey. But even if I look at the 10-piece brush set, there's maybe one or two, maybe 3 brushes from there that I'm yeah, I could mess these. I like these. Then when I look at the 4-piece brush set, no, don't like any of these.
I actually like the 4-piece.
Really?
Yeah. I like angle brushes. And I like those I like the round brush also. The 2 smaller ones I would use the other one for highlighter and don't know would I need the third one, but I feel like that one's better than the 10-piece one.
I like the angled brush, but I have a load of angled brushes. So that's why I'm not looking at that kind of brush. And I'll be honest, I don't like the way they've designed this. It looks really kind of, I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, the makeup bag then apparently is glow in the dark, which fair enough. I think prefer the melt one because they're similar in price. I prefer the melt one. I just think it's weirder. The brush cleaning thing, Jesus Christ, why is that €29? But yeah,
it's so expensive.
I don't get it. Genuinely don't.
It's a luxury brush. That's why.
I could be luxury too, darling. I could be. It's really weird, and I'm sick of all of these collabs. And I've also seen, by the way, that Spectrum have a collaboration with Beauty and the Beast. So something's going on. This is okay. I won't get any of it. I think I think specifically the little Sally velour puff is cute, but other than that, it's not for me. But I haven't put it to you guys yet. I'll show you the stats. But we have one last thing to do. And Gillian, I hope to God you're happy that I've covered this, because this makes me want to die. This is Laura Geller Beauty, who asked for this? Genuinely, I am asking this right now. Who thought to themselves, do you know what? Do you know what needs a collaboration? Wheel of Fortune. No, it doesn't. Wheel of Fortune does not need a fucking collaboration, and yet it does. You can get the full collection for €135. I mean, Jesus, if I had a possibility of winning money for buying this, then maybe. But anyways, they have the precision brush, they have a primer, they have a lipstick, they have an eyeliner, and none of it is interesting. I want to talk, I can't even figure out where I'm going with this, because it's so like all over the place and it's kind of stressing me out. We're going to start off maybe first with the eyeshadow palette. What?
I mean,
Don't care.
why does it look completely different on the other picture? Like, are there two palettes or just one?
No, it's just one.
Why does it look completely different in some pictures? Like, some of the pictures, they look fully neutral palette. There's like the woman with the palette, and it looks a fully neutral palette.
Yeah.
Then when you look at, like, obviously it is a neutral palette, but when you look at the picture sided, it looks like it has like some, like, why does the black look brown on the other picture? Or the like light gray? And why does that look pink? Like that one, that shade that has R on it, that looks pink on that picture, but it looks like really warm brown on the other one.
It's terrible.
So I'm just like, what? Is this even the same palette in these pictures? Because
I'm so
you have clearly mistaken yourself and had two different palettes, and then you're just like, oh, it's the same.
It's terrible. I get so frustrated when they can't like take pictures properly. Now I see a lot of Laura Geller Beauty in TK Maxx, so I assume this will be there quite soon. It's absolutely terrible, and they have the audacity, nay, the gall, to try and charge €43.95 for that eyeshadow palette. Nope, absolutely not.
No.
But do you know what makes me more angry? It's the fucking blush palette. I hate this. What is the juvenile, nonsensical bullshit?
It looks so cheap. It looks so cheap.
It's
It looks like dollar store makeup.
Yeah, do you know how much that costs? €46.95. That's
It's
more
not
expensive
dollar
than the
store
eyeshadow.
prices. That's for damn sure.
It's terrible. It's
So bad. I can't even like describe how bad this is, because it's just horrible.
And I love how they've really optimistically said, like, wear one shade alone or blend two or more for a custom color.
Wow, we didn't know we could do that.
How revolutionary. This, it gives me I Love Revolution, or I Heart Revolution. That's what it's giving me. Revolution makeup. Any one of the Revolution sub-brands. That's what this is.
Yeah.
That's
even like complimenting it a bit too.
Oh yeah, no, I'm being nice right now.
Yeah.
Like, it's utterly dreadful. I hate it. Then they have this eyeliner, which they say has vitamin E and caffeine to perk up tired eyes. It's an eyeliner. Well, what are you doing with it? It's like,
There are two shades or one, or does those two look completely different on those two pictures again?
I want you to look into your soul, Tia, and search for what you think the answer actually is.
Yeah, there's just one eyeliner.
There we go.
And it looks
Just
completely
picture
different with the two pictures.
Yeah, they're just dreadful at
How
this.
do they do that? Like, we have a dark brown, and then we have like light brown, or like a medium brown, and then we're just like, oh, it's the same product. It looks completely different on these two pictures, but trust us, it'll look like. How am I supposed to know how it's gonna look on me?
This gives me trust issues. This sort of nonsense.
Yeah. This collection is full of trust issues.
Oh, it's terrible. Then they have a red lipstick, which, guys, you know me, I love a red lipstick, but even this, it looks terrible. Look at the way that it's on the lips. It's like patchy and weird. Like, there's a strange pigment when you look at the top left kind of lips that it's on. There's a weird pigment to it, and it's also very patchy on the top right lip as well. It looks really weird. Or is that just me?
Yeah, it does.
Don't like, that's right, me. I have said I do not like this red lipstick. It's
what is this episode? Teresa hated a green eyeshadow. Teresa hated a red lipstick. Who even are you now?
My new name is Veronica. I'm Veronica now.
Meet Veronica.
Yeah, then they have this primer, which is called Spackle Million Bucks. What the fuck even is that? They say it fills in fine lines for a smooth complexion.
Talk about an ugly cream.
It looks absolutely awful.
Oh my god, the font, the color of the packaging, everything, it looks...
Everything about it is off.
It
Genuine.
like this might be like an actual nice product, but how would I know? Because I wouldn't buy that.
No, this seems
It's
like
just
a joke.
it looks like we said, it looks so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, and this price isn't cheap.
No.
Become primer.
Like the primer is, it says €34.95 is what I wrote down. Now I could be wrong. If I've gotten the price wrong, because that cannot be right. Let me just double check. I did just double check there about the primer. Yes, it is €34.95.
Yeah, so you can sell your soul and look at this ugly packaging.
I love. Sorry, I'm just looking at the website now as filming because it says perfect for perfecting skin texture, mature skin, daily use. Okay, grand. And then it says why you'll love it. We were the first. First what?
First
what? The first what, Laura? The first what? Invisible under makeup. Yeah, that's what
primers usually do.
Well, like what else are we meant to say? It primes, skin softening, never sticky. Their claims are like you want to charge me €35 for this. You also haven't said how much product I will get because I can't find that written anywhere on the site unless I like
59 mils.
Feck off. Absolutely not. Oh, this has made me
fluid ounces.
like this has made me like unreasonably angry. Unreasonably. I don't like this. And then look, we'll end on the terrible dual-ended brush, which they have ironically called the dual-ended blush and bronzer precision brush. Precision. There's nothing precise about this. The fact that you know how I feel about dual-ended brushes. How the fuck do you store this? It's not going to end up being precise because one way or another, if you store it in a pot, one side of this brush is going to get damaged. I hate it. It's one of the cheaper items. It's €20.95. So I guess
I wouldn't say that for it. I'm just, this collection was the worst.
Yeah.
Probably out of this week.
I think it might be one of the worst this year because obviously we're in October now, so we don't have that much time left. So I will start to be looking back on the collections of this year and putting together a best and worst, and I already feel it in my bones that this is dreadful and it makes me feel bad. So thanks, Gillian. Thanks for sending this my way. She's like, I can't wait to see your reaction. And I'm like, I fucking hate you. Thanks so much. Bye. Yeah, I haven't put this to you yet because I love you guys and I've been trying to hold off on traumatizing you. So for those who have seen this in my stories, I apologize. I am literally just doing my job. I'm very, very sorry. But that's it, my gorgeous friends. That's the end of this video. But I do have my favourite comment, and this is from Rhea, who said, I have a new hobby while watching. It's called Guess Did or Is Teresa Buying This? Fair. Honestly.
Fair. That's a good game, though.
Yeah. Rhea, how did you do this week? Did you guess the ones that I ended up getting? Actually,
you could even turn it to a drinking game.
Oh, no.
Where you get it right and you have a shot.
Oh, don't do that. You would not be well at the end of it. Actually, I'm looking back over everything and there's only one thing that I have bought and plan on getting. And that was it. That was the cosmic brushes. The rest, absolutely not.
Yeah, there's not much this week that was...
Is this personal growth? I'm counting this as personal growth. Doesn't matter that everything that was released was trash, bar the cosmic brushes. This is growth for me.
Yeah, we're calling it that.
Well done, me. I don't feel so bad about getting the Danessa Myricks palette now. It works. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. That is the end of this particular video. Thank you so much for watching. I hugely appreciate it. Do please like, comment, and subscribe. All of those things help massively, and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it, that's the end of the video, and we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Bye.